welcome to HW News. When top leaders of two major powers meet, it is never a bilateral affair. It becomes an event of geostrategic significance. The meeting between Russian President Vladimir Putin and Prime Minister Narendra Modi is one of such event. Russian President Vladimir Putin headed for India today, looking for ties of arms deals including of the S-400 air and missile defense. Well, we have with us the well-known commentator on foreign policy and expert on strategic affairs, Seshadri Chari, sir. Welcome, sir. So, this meeting, what can we expect from Russian president's meet and the visit in India?
As you have very rightly said, this is of course a bilateral meeting, but Indo-Russian bilateral treaties and understanding goes a long way. In fact, we have been dealing with Russia since 1947, since independence. Russia is one of the members who have veto powers, and Russia has used its veto power in our favor for a long time on a number of occasions. The 1965 war, the 1971 war was primarily won because of so many factors. Other factors, the most important factor was MiG-21. Almost all the variants of MiG-21 Russia had given us, and our air power they had done. The economic engagement between India and Russia has been there for a long time. In fact, Russia has also provided for India's energy security. But after the disintegration of the USSR, things changed a little bit. And after the end of Cold War, India did a balancing act between the West and the East.
Right. And
the communist bloc disintegrated. But more importantly, Indo-Russian economic engagement also goes back to the days of rupee-ruble trade. So it's a long affair. It's a very strong bonding of partnership between India and Russia. And this is not the first time that Putin comes here, of course. Indian leaders have been visiting Russia and Russian leaders have been visiting India. So this particular meeting is in continuation of the bilateral summit that India and Russia had agreed for. So it's a great important event, and India hopes to benefit through these ties. But more importantly, as you said, the missile defense system S-400, which we are now trying to get from from Russia, will be very important for us as far as Indo-Pakistan border is concerned and also Indo-China border is concerned. Because we have a very long border and we are in the process of acquiring Rafale.
Right.
So if you combine all these elements, considering the length of the border, we need the kind of surveillance system and the anti-missile system that we have.
Right.
With that we don't have. So I think S-400, if we are able to strike the deal, which in all likelihood we will, it will be quite a game changer as far as our defense preparedness is concerned. Very interestingly, in fact, although Russia supplied us MiG-21, they stopped producing MiG-21 in 1985. So now they have a vintage air show where they require MiG-21, which they used to produce once upon a time. So they have asked India to supply 3 MiG-21s, which India is going to gift to Russia so that they can show it around to the whole world as to how they produce MiG-21, which they have stopped producing, which we are still using as far as our air defense system is concerned. In fact, the frontline fighter aircraft of India is MiG-21. So it's all very strange coincidences. So I think Indo-Russia partnership and friendship is poised for a great change and also will be a win-win situation for both countries.
Right. So Russia has always remained number one, but when it comes to tying new deals with them, which is like a major boost to India, but also it brings a big snub to the United States. So how can this meet will affect the Indo-US relationship?
I don't think it is a snub to United States. India has been able to balance the equations with many countries. We have been balancing the equation with Israel and Palestine. We have balanced equations with China and Japan. We have successfully balanced equations between Russia and China, US also.
Right.
Of course, US is an important strategic partnership for India as far as India's defense system and also the economic progress is concerned. So we have in fact tried to tell the US during the 2+2 talks that any deal that we do with Russia is not at the cost of Indo-US engagement. Of course, US has a reason to be worried about S-400 because S-400 has about 400 meters range. So if the 400 meter range defense system is acquired by India, the US has a reason to be fear about that because most of the US platforms will also come under the radar.
Right.
But that should not be a cause of worry for US because US is one of the biggest arms exporter to India also. But we have been telling the US, we have been dealing with the US from this point of view. Of course, US requires India as far as their trade war with China is concerned. And Russia is no longer a adversary for the US also. So from that point of view, I think the countering America's adversaries through the Sanctions Act, what they call the CAATSA,
Okay.
CATSA should not come in the way of Indo-Russia relationship or Indo-US relationship.
Right.
So we have successfully been able to convince the US that Indo-Russia friendship and partnership is not at the cost of US,
right,
but it is in the best interest of India to be a strong, militarily prepared state in the region, so that in the dynamics of Indo-US relationship, India stands to benefit and US also stands to benefit through a strong India in the region.
Right. So while United States is recalibrating its relationship with China and Russia, it is evident that India's importance in the region is not lost on Washington. In the emerging geopolitical situation in the region, Indo-Russia engagement is poised for a reset. New Delhi will have to tread this path cautiously so as to avoid stepping on the toes of Washington, especially at a time when US and China trade war is taking a difficult turn for China. Well, we'll come back to you with more analysis and information on Putin's visit to India as to how this visit unfolds.
If you like this video, please share it and we would love to hear your comments in the comments section down here. Also, please do like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter to get minute-to-minute news updates. For more such shows and videos, well, subscribe to our YouTube channel.